Hi, this is Numeric Citizen. In today's video, let's talk about craft and tags. Yeah, finally. Tags are around since a long time in many applications like Notion, Obsidian, Capacities, Bear, Apple Notes. And so people were waiting for Craft to add support for tags, and thankfully finally got them in this summer, in the latest update this summer. And so this video will cover how you can use the tags yourself, the limitations, how I'm using tags myself for my own content and my own workflows, and I'll cover also some things that might be improved in the future, and some things that you need to know so that you don't fall in any traps if you are considering using tags yourself. So let's get started for real this time. The first thing I want to tell you is that if you were using documents with the hash symbol followed by a word, for example, since the update where tags support has been introduced, those documents will actually create tags automatically, and this is by design. This is not something that you can disable yourself. And so some people thought it was not really nice to have a bunch of tags already there. I was one of those guys where there was hundreds of tags already populated in my environment. But I must say that I have to cope with that. I have to just accept it, and it is what it is. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell you about tags. So the tags has been, there's a section in the left sidebar here where you can just expand or collapse. The first thing you need to understand is that by default, no tags will appear in this sidebar. What you have to know is that if you want to manage those tags, you need to you need to search for them. Like if I want to search for craft, and let's say I want to make these tags available in the left sidebar. So this is something that you need to do. It's not automatic. So you see here, the tag has been added here. So that's the first thing. So if you want to kind of spend some time in looking at your tags in your list, this is something that you should be doing, especially if you happen to have a lot of tags already there when you first started using Craft with tag support. As you might expect, using tags in Craft is pretty simple. It's like any other apps which support tags. So you start with the hash symbol, and then you type some word like this, and you'll see that you can scroll within a list of tags that correspond to this, to those characters. You will see here that there is some tags with a / in them. It means that it's a two-level, or it's a tag, subtag, a construct. You might want to use that when you have a lot of tags that are related to a single subject. And so for obvious reasons here, you can see that I have a single tag like craft, but I also have a lot of subtags with it, which helps me better refine the tag attribution to my documents. So as soon as you select a tag, you tap, you hit enter, and then you can start again to add a few more tags as you can. So there's really no limits of how many tags you can add to your documents. And so when you want to get rid of one tag, it's like a single character entity. So you just hit backspace and they will disappear. If I enter like something like that, hit enter, and then I bring my mouse over, you can go to a filtering view for that specific tag, which will show you all the documents that contain this tag. Or you can edit and add some other tag. Let's say I want to change that for craft, enter, and then it will change the tag itself. So it's pretty simple. It's a very simple implementation, and I think it's a really, really nice one. Let's go back to the sidebar here on the left. You can remove a tag that has been pinned in the sidebar there by right-clicking on and selecting unpin. So it will remove that from the sidebar. Again, you can add the tag back if you want. Also, you can click on one of the tag there and you can select a deep link to the actual tag, which means that if you go in a document, this is a deep link to a specific tag. If you click on that, you can paste the deep link there, and then if you click on that, it will bring you directly to the filter view for that specific tag, which is pretty nice, and it's in line with the rest of Craft where the deep link feature is available. So right now what you're seeing is the filtering view when you are searching for documents based on tags. So how do you use tags for filtering documents? You can click on any of those tags here in the left sidebar, like for this, for example, this one. As you can see, there's a lot of documents containing this tag. I can click on the tag here and you can see that there is a way to display, if I click on that, all these sub tags with under this main tag here. So you can see that there's 5 occurrences of the craft/ambassador. If I click on that, it will just select show me the documents with this specific tag, and I click on that and I click on this here, and it will bring me to some place in this document. As you can see, it's not obvious which block contains the tag that I was looking for. If I go back, if I click again on this one, click on that here, it's not obvious, and one of the reasons is that the tag itself is within a table, and in that case the block or the line is not highlighted, so I have to figure out which line this specific block is. Here it's very simple because there is only one, but if there was many of the same tag used in this document, then it would be a problem. If I go back here, so you saw that as soon as there is one tag selected and I click on another one, then you can filter even further your documents by, it's kind of an AND operation applied to all your selected tags in this filtering view. If I click on that here, I can just remove the tags from the selection, so I come back to all the documents. If I go here again, there's the first tag that has been selected, which is shown here. If I click on that, I can see all the tags or all the sub tags for this specific tag. So it's a pretty nice implementation. It's not perfect, but it's a 1.0 implementation of tags. And one of the issues that I have with this view is that the use of the horizontal bar here doesn't scale well because it takes too much space, and I think it would be easier if there was a better way or a specific panel to select those tags for filtering the document. So it's not perfect, but I think it's a good first try for tags and filtering documents based on them. You can use tags pretty much anywhere in Craft. You can obviously create tags in a document. You can create tag in a page, which is a sub-document. You can create a tag in a task. You can put tags in daily notes, in a table, in a collection. But here's the thing. Here I have a very special tag here. If I click on that, it's inside a document which has a main level. This is the main level. If I go back in this page where the tag is used, so I have this very special tag there. If I go back in the all documents here and I search for it, so very special, you can see that I can find it right there. The thing is, as you can see in this task here, I have a task with the very special tag, and when I was looking for it here, it couldn't find it with the search because there was only one place where it can find it. If I go in the task, very special special. I cannot find anything related to this tag in task. And so it's a very serious limitation, which means that if you go in a calendar, you create a new daily note and you enter very special. So you've got a tag here. If I go back in the all document and you try to search for it by selecting it in the left sidebar here, you will see that you will be able to find it in the daily note, but you won't be able to find it in a task. And if you look for it in a collection, you should be able to find it in a collection. So that's something that I wanted to bring, because if you want to have tags in a task, something that things the task manager things support, and even Apple reminders also support that. Here it's currently not supported, and I think it could be a serious limitation for some users. One thing to note is that if you want to export, or if you want actually to publish a document as a mini website, you can decide to hide those tags if you don't want them to. So here, this is the ephemeral scrapbook edition 2025-37. If I go in here and I go in the share, here, advanced option, you can just hide words starting with a hashtag. So some people might want to hide them because they just use tags for organization purposes. Me myself, I want to show them because this is part of the document. I want to help people know what information I'm writing about in a specific portion of the document. So that's why I do have tags in there. And I think you could do that, also export the document. If you want to export the document, for example, there's no option to do that. Is there an option when you are publishing, share? That's the only place where you can decide to hide tags from your document. The question that you might have is, how do I use tags myself? As you saw here in this newsletter, I do use tag here to kind of add some more information or metadata regarding this specific portion of the document. I also use tags in a special website that I'm building, where I'm documenting all the bad use cases and issues with Apple Liquid Glass implementation. And so I have built a long list of cases or exhibits where you can see some weird things related to user interface and Liquid Glass. And so for that specific document, what I decided to do is, for each exhibit, is to use a tag for a video or a screenshot, so that I can see all the videos exhibits or all the screenshot exhibits. Also, I do have a tag for which version of the operating system. Is it iOS? Is this iPadOS? Is this macOS? And then there is another tag where it is just mentioning which beta version I'm referring to, or where I saw that occurrence of this weird behavior. And then after that, I have another tag, which is what type of problems I'm kind of trying to convey here in this exhibit. And here it's about visual clarity. There is also others issues, which is visual corruptions here, if I click on that, or visual animation issues. So if you see here, when I'm clicking on the left sidebar, one of those tags, I click on that, you will see the number of occurrence or results where I use the tag itself. So it's very handy to have a look of all the occurrence of, for example, here, visual corruption. So if I click on that, it will bring me to the exhibit where the visual corruption is mentioned. So that's one thing. The other question that you might have is, why not use tag and subtag, where I could have a Mac OS / beta 4, beta 5, and so on. I decided to keep those separate because I wanted them to be in sync. So if I want to have all the bugs that has been related to beta 3, then I can look and see all the bugs that I have found related to beta 3, whatever the operating system. If I were to use a tab sub-tab, then I would have a kind of an issue, or it would be harder to find those documents. So I want to keep them separate. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to tell you about tags is how do you use tags or folders? Because as you know, you can have folders in the left sidebar here where you will organize your content. So the main thing I would say about that is very simple. Folders are for organizing documents under a name. For example, all the documents related to the newsletter that I'm maintaining, or the Craft Bible stuff where everything is inside this specific folder. Tags on the other way is to resurface documents simply by clicking on words. So whatever they are in whatever folder they are, you can search for documents simply by clicking on a specific keyword or a tag. And this is kind of another dimension for organizing your data inside of Craft. So that's the way I do understand and I do apply the tags and how they relate to folders in my environment. Now that you saw tags in Craft, there's a few things I want to mention regarding some improvements that I'd like to see in the upcoming releases. One thing is that you cannot format tags. They cannot use a specific font. You cannot use a specific color for the tag. It's all gray and it's all a system font. This is something that I think would be interesting to improve upon. You cannot add a tag in a collection as a field. So you can add a tag inside a specific collection item where you can enter anything you want, because it's a page, so you can enter tags there. But if you want to enter a tag within a collection field, then it won't be usable itself. As I said earlier, the horizontal bar for filtering your documents, I think it should be reconsidered for like maybe a tag clause that we see in some applications or in some CMS. Like WordPress support tags cloud with a plugin, for example. There is a mention about not being able to add a tag to a specific block, like an image. It's only for text. There's also a mention I saw from some user mentioning a problem for those who want to write in Markdown format. If they use the hash symbol to specify the header level, it is conflicting with the hash character for creating a tag, and so you need kind of enter a space to be able to enter your header in a Markdown format. So that's another issue. You can exclude some tags from being created automatically. So if you are using numbers, for example, and you want to exclude anything that contains numbers, you can say a specific tag with the number 2025, for example, should not be considered as a tag, because you just want to enter or type hash and the number itself. There is no regular expression, so you need to manually enter all the tags that you want to be excluded from in specific rules. So, and also if you want to have tags in templates and you want to search your templates based on that, I think it doesn't work, and I think it should be able to bring those templates as well as documents. So that's pretty much what I had to say regarding tags limitations. As I said earlier, this is a version 1.0. I know that we've been waiting for tags for a long, long time. And I think the first iteration of tags in Craft is very, very good. But again, there's always some room for improvements. Now, there's one more thing that I would like to talk about is the previous methodology to create tags in Craft. I don't know if you remember, I shared a video about taggings a long time ago. It was before the current tags support was added. And you would create a document where you could refer to this document by using backlinking or backlinks. And so I have an example here that I'm still using. I did not transfer this to the new tags. And so you create a master document for a specific tag, which is here it's quotes. And I can look at all the places where I'm referring to this specific document by using the @ sign. So for example, if I go in this document here, you can see that I have used that in 2 places. I click on that, and what you're seeing is a quote. And if I want this block of text to become a quote, I simply, at the end of the block, enter the @ quotes, and it becomes a backlink. I could either do that or start using the new tagging system where I would add a hash symbol followed by the quotes word. But the thing is, I like the way this document is presented, because if you look at all the documents, I can see all the quotes that I'm using, and I like this way of working. So maybe I'll change that over time, but for now, this is the way it is. And if you are still using this methodology, by the way, I'll put the link in the video description to this video. If you're still using this old method, then you could simply continue to use it. But for now, I'm kind of on the fence for this specific use case. So that's it for today's video about craft tags. I hope that you learned something along the way. I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit like if you like this video. If you subscribe, then you won't miss any upcoming videos. So thank you for watching, thank you for being there, and see you guys for another one soon. Bye.